Oh my God, we don't have to talk about the damn giveaway. Everyone start clapping in your house. Everyone that hates the giveaways just because I talk about them for 1 minute, start clapping. All right, enough. You got your, we don't have to talk about it anymore. No one message me.
20 times! No. Oh my God!
No one message me and be like, "Wait, who's the winner? Who's the winner? Did you pick the winner? When did you pick the winner? Why didn't you pick the winner?" The giveaway just ended. I took 1 day off from making videos to work on stuff, and I have to wait to hear back from the sweepstakes company. It's all done third party. They send over an email to my company, and we reach out to the winner that way. Sometimes it takes a week to 2 weeks. We have to add up all the entries, make sure everything is accounted for, make sure everyone that has purchased anything or gotten entered has a fair shot of winning. So that's going on. So we don't have to talk about the giveaway anymore until we announce the winner. We're just going to go back to our regular scheduled program. Everyone said that it was so long too, and it was actually 2 weeks shorter than the Trailblazer giveaway. So a lot of hate out there, which I could care less. You guys can all come here and kiss my bare ass. I'll drop trout in a second. Damn, that bug killer is killing. Also, new video on the Ellis Nasty channel. So if you haven't gone over to the Ellis Nasty channel, please go over there and subscribe. I'll make that the first link in the description below. We added a new piece of equipment to the shop here. We got this big badass brake, which we're going to get it all painted up and looking nice. Matt, you want to explain to people what we have going on here?
Yes. So John is used to breaking stuff, but now we're going to be productive when we're breaking things. So, got a pitch toe brake, 8 foot.
You guys might have seen this in previous videos. This was actually Junior's brake. He just ordered a new one and got it. So we purchased this off him. Smoke and deal. Big shout out to Junior over at Business Performance, as always. We're really ramping it up. If you guys remember, at one point we had one flashlight and a few lights in the shop. We've upgraded the shop. They're almost done with the renovations, which means we can clean up in here. And then we're going to roll right into an addition on the shop.
Yep, we got the plasma table in there. CNC, all our kind of extra stuff we're thinking about doing. It's going to be a full-blown shop.
Full-blown production.
Probably going to have to add some people.
Yeah. Full-blown production. Nasty racing products.
Oh, and I want to start off by saying, John is not going to message you on Telegram.
Oh my God.
So, if you get a message from John or in the comments like, "Hey, you won $10,000," it's not him.
Yeah, someone's like, "You won Telegram." Guys, this is all done legit, formal, all done through one of the largest sweepstakes companies in the world.
He's asking for money.
Yeah, people are scamming you. I'll never ask you for money. People are scamming you. Don't get scammed. Also, don't just pay random people who message you. Yeah. So.
Yeah, if you're not positive it's John, you can call him at.
All right, so we're talking about Slick Rick. We've actually been doing a lot of work. We didn't do a lot of filming just because there's a lot of work going on, and work and filming, you know, other than doing time lapses, sometimes it can be a little bit counterproductive. So first off, we really are starting to get everything cleaned up and like set up for final assembly. So we got everything all wiped down, everything all painted. I think that X bar is the only thing I haven't like actually wiped down and got the dust off of.
Yep, we got our tank here painted. The tank looked great. This is from Steven at Rock Solid Motorsports. It's a very large tank, internally baffled. Killer deal on these. If you guys need a burn down tank, I would highly recommend one of these. But we thought everything else back here is black, tinted
window.
Yeah,
yep.
Tinted window. Something, you know, shiny aluminum poking through. Black. We'll hide it. Just have the burn down tube coming out, and maybe a carbon trim ring.
Maybe a carbon trim ring.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Maybe like Slick Rick and carbon.
Yeah. How would we cut that out on our CNC router?
We would.
Ooh, with our carbon.
With the
pick up on the hints, people.
So we got that. We've been doing a whole lot of.
We're gonna make these out of carbon too, aren't we?
Yep. Carbon parachute. We're gonna make pretty much all kinds of stuff out of carbon.
So you guys picking up what we're putting down yet?
Got a seat mounted. Got a race tank in here, and I'm talking. This bad boy is like by far the sturdiest mounted seat I've ever been in. We got all our brackets here. Got some aluminum standoffs we made to space it off the bar. Got one that's like it's kind of tricky getting it in there because obviously it wasn't built for a race tech. So one of the bolts actually goes through the tube, but it worked out perfect.
Let me sit in here so I can give my little
there.
talk to race tech. So All right, so these racing seats, we're trying to get some belt fitment ideas and everything going on here.
Yeah.
Let me hop in here. First time, this is like, we're doing final assembly right now. So we're putting the interior in. Once we put it in, it doesn't come back out. This thing right here, this seat, when you put it in there, all bolted in, the seating position is phenomenal, super comfortable, the head restraint, but this is probably the sturdiest seat I've ever sat in. It's really, there's really no comparison to anything out there.
Yeah, like I sat in it and I literally felt the medical debt lifting off of me.
Yeah, Matt, like, if Matt was in one of these, he would be in no medical debt right now, but you live and you learn. So, Matt, next time, we'll remove the medical debt.
Yeah.
All right, I'm editing this video, and I look fat as hell in that video. So, I'll be initiating the LS Nasty diet here immediately. I'm super blown away. It's very tough to explain to you guys how good it sits, it feels, it's comfortable, it's safety. Like, you just, when you sit in this thing, you could tell you're like, you're ready to go.
Yeah, you're ready to go 140 mile an hour. 100,
every bit of 100, maybe 145.
Yeah.
But the way everything's set up, you know, with the wheel here, you're comfortable in the seat angles kind of like tip back, feels really good. You have good vision. Everything you need is right here. So you have the shifter here, your little knob to change tunes on the fly, your control panel, your kill switch, CO2 bottle, your valve.
Everything's driver accessible, nothing's out of reach. Because some of them, I've been in some cars like CO2 bottle, like you just can't reach it. So if your CO2's off, you're just like, oh, and you know, you can't check your parachutes because of how far the back. We'll go down here, right the corner. We got all kinds of stuff to show you guys.
And honestly, I don't think, you know, we're taking, these builds take forever. I mean, we've been putting in long days every day, pretty much working nonstop. We go out for lunch. That's really about it. You don't understand how much tedious work trying to do it right.
Just getting this set up and all this clocked right. So this is the valve. So that'll be on and that'll be off. So like when it's off right there, it'll bleed off, and then when it's on.
You'd like to call Craig Carbonell. Mobile? Who would you like to call?
Nobody.
It's pretty late right now. Also, we've been working all day. So this is
yeah, CO2 valve. I'll comment.
No. We're selling these.
Okay, yeah.
We're selling these with a bracket. So if you guys are interested in these, we're working on getting the LS Nasty store really changed over from apparel to have a tab that'll take you to Nasty Racing products, and we'll be selling everything from wings, brackets, race tech seats, really anything you think of. HOLLEY products.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff that we're going to be making, a bunch of stuff that we use. So the way this works is now you got the valve on, then this rear one, it lays in there really good. Like it's nothing's out of the way, really clean, and this will be our feed back to the parachutes. Bottle active? No.
Okay.
So you got a 3/8 line going back. It's going to tee off right here. We'll have our two Mac valves mounted somewhere in here for our air chute release and our shifter, and then the 3/8 line will go back there to the chute. I like to run the larger 3/8 line, especially with the dual launcher. It just seems like it gives a little bit better oomph coming out of the chute. So then comes out of here, we got our Brown & Miller dash 4 line, goes up to a firewall bulkhead, and then you guys saw the rest of it. So interior wise,
we got everything painted.
Yeah, we got everything in here painted and looking good. We'll get our interior lights mounted to the roll bar now and get it all cleaned up so it sticks good.
We're really starting to knock down the list. We're redoing some stuff on the front end. We've had some issues with the front end. The shocks were blown out. Got the shocks fixed. Found some issues with the shocks when they were up at Menser, which then led us to look into it and found some other issues with some angles. So we're gonna like redo some of the front suspension geometry to make it more usable. Would you say?
Yeah, just correct. You know, with the style front end, like you
it's a factory front style suspension.
Yeah, factory front style suspension, but you know, if your lower A-arm's not in the right location and just some other stuff, it can cause some issues, and that's what we're running into. So that's what we're trying to alleviate, because we don't want any kind of binding or anything in the front end. You want it to be nice and smooth and all the travel correct. So got that. Got our brake master cylinders mounted, dual wheel wood. Got our brake pressure sensor kind of going through there. I can show you guys that. So we got some this is the factory, or one of the brake lines that were on the car, and then it goes into a little -3 sensor block here, and then on the inside it's got the sensor. This line runs down, goes into a T's off of this one, goes around. We did like stainless tabs on all that stuff. Kind of put it all back together, just really just going through and redoing everything, taking it apart, making sure there's Loctite, making sure it's the correct length bolt, making sure that it's not going to rub anything, making sure that everything is just right for the final time. This is really, this is where you need to spend the most time. Even if you spend an extra day or 2 days, it'll save you going to the track and having a problem like, oh, well, the bolt was long enough, oh, it didn't have, you know, a lock nut and the thing vibrated off, and now this is a problem. So spending the extra time on this is where it really helps. So like we got our scavenge pump mounted there, one fitting right there, so you know, shouldn't have no leaks. It drains. I don't know if you guys remember, but I've designed a turbo drain and mount built in, so the oil actually drains out of the turbo and then drains down into this tube right here, and then scavenges right there. So it just gets everything a little bit higher, because otherwise you got your fitting and everything, and then sometimes it's the fitting and really low to the ground. So we got that. Got our wastegate stuff on there, got our fire rings in, got our wastegate position sensor, got all our rife sensors here, painted all this for the fuel tank, did some other stuff, kind of like, I don't know if you guys can see that, just a little kind of touch-up stuff. We did that. Got the AJPE inlay. What else we got?
We're building it. I mean, we're building it. There's so much stuff. You guys have absolutely no idea how long it takes to build one of these.
Yeah, start to finish. I mean, all the little.
Now, imagine if we actually recorded our hours, like.
Oh God.
Like.
Oh God.
An actual recording of time.
Yeah, got some hardware for our burn down. We got some burn down tubes. I use this aircraft stuff. It's neoprene style burn down hose, super lightweight, high temperature. It's like 500 degrees. Excellent methanol resistance. So we'll be putting that on for our burn down tubes, the rear. It's kind of like our parts table. We got everything. Some Mac valve setup that I did. So pretty compact. You got your inlet right here and your 2 outlets. Just trying to keep everything. Got our spacer from M&M. This is going to go between the transmission and the bell housing, because our converter spacing, you hear us guys, we talk about it a lot, your converter spacing has to be correct, otherwise you're going to have thrust bearing problems. So this one's really tight. It's like 70 thousandths, so we got that spacer, and that's going to give us like 140 thousandths of clearance for converter pull out, which is about perfect for this, because this is also a roller bearing motor, so it can withstand pretty high thrust loads. But if there's zero in there, you can damage transmission pump. So you know, that's exactly where we need to be. So we got all that done. Just keep on, you know.
What else are we doing?
We're gonna mount the belts. So we got a couple different style belts here. I think we're gonna be using the impact. They're gonna be working.
They work better with the way our tabs. Like if we're building a car from scratch, we'll put in the correct tabs to.
Yeah, so you got a couple different styles. So you have this style where.
You build a hook on the chassis.
Yeah, so we don't have that welded in here. Instead of welding a bunch of extra tabs on there and doing all that, we're just going to use the impact tabs. Do that. We could. Oh, can't bleed the brakes.
Yeah, we cannot bleed the brakes.
Yeah, we can redo the steering.
We can pretty much get everything in the interior done, hang all the lights and get all that stuff zip tied up, mount the Mac valves.
Yeah, I gotta add a pigtail for the brake pressure sensor. We can do that, and then mount the Mac valves. Just all the little stuff I went through under the car and foamed the rockers and foamed some other stuff in there, so we won't have any kind of rocks or any debris getting trapped in there.
The big thing is like this, like we're really trying to take our time and do it right. You know, some of our other cars
just kind of slapped together.
Yeah, like some of them, and like the Black Sheep is a prime example. Look how much we kind of struggled with it for a while until we really went through it front to back, head to toe. It don't leak in the trailer. It's not leaking fluids. We nut and bolt it properly, and we got it to a point where it's like really raceable. This thing here, we're trying to come out the box where it is, you know, just like that.
Yeah, race it, no issues, not stuff falling off of it or stuff leaking.
So many people spend so much time going to the track it costs money, it costs time. You have other people out there helping you. So when you go out there and you're like, oh man, I forgot to tighten this, and you know the drive shaft fell out of it. Not only do you have to pay for the drive shaft to fix it, but you drove your ass all the way there and all the fuel, all the time and everything. So you can actually save yourself a whole lot of money by really taking your time and getting everything all done and dialed in and making sure it's correct and right and nut and bolted before you go to the track the first time. I think Hank is a prime example. We took that to the track. I had it done and fired up. I could have gone to the track. I had it in the shop for an extra 3 weeks where I was doing every little thing front to back until we're standing over it, looking at it saying, I think we got everything. I don't think we need to do anything else. We went right to the track, boom, 7 passes, you know, met our goal. So if you guys can do that with your car, if we can do that, there's no reason you guys can't do that. I see way too many people going to the track and having issues and just beating their head against the wall every time they go because they don't have their shit together. And it takes a lot to get your shit together. Sometimes you got to sit out a couple weeks, but you'll make it up. I promise.
Yeah, don't be chasing it, trying to, you know, rush, and especially the new car. You know, sometimes we rush after we already have a car and we want to make it to a race, but a new car like this, you know, if you miss a race or you miss a deadline, sometimes it's better than saying, hey, we're going to throw it together or we're not going to check over everything, because that one little bolt here and there can really cost a lot of money. It's just, you know, a safety factor. So making sure, like, we've Loctited, and I've gone through like 2 tubes of Loctite. We've Loctited, lock washers, lock nuts, everything on here. It's got the correct hardware, correct length. You know, we're not going to have an issue with any of that stuff. Everything's mounted good. The seats in there good. Safety wise, we're about to put the belts in there. Those will be in there correctly. So hopefully we can just go out. I'm trying to do the 9 and 9 challenge. So
hey, Matt wants to go sub 1 second, 60 foot in 9 passes.
Yep. So if everything, like the front suspension, you know, luckily we found that issue, because that would have been, you know, that would have been a few passes right there where we would have went like, hey, the valving is not doing a damn thing, and that's going to be a problem. So we got all that fixed. You know, we check everything out good. We got our QA ones on the back. I think that'll really help us out. We got the data, so I feel good.
Yeah, no, I feel good. Really, one of the last things that we have to figure out is what we're doing fire suppression wise, and once we get that figured out, then
yeah, I haven't seen, you know, I asked for a video. I don't know if anybody commented, but if you have a race car and you've had to pull your fire suppression, you let me know if it just kind of like let you get out of the car, or it actually worked. Because, you know, for me, I'm starting to think maybe like a small fire suppression, and then maybe have a mountable bottle to where if the thing's on fire and there's oil and methanol on the ground, you know, John can jump out and spray it himself, because
yeah.
So
it's a lot, though. It's a lot. So we'll set the camera down and do some time lapse. I don't know how all this stuff kind of carries over onto video. Someone doesn't really care over very well, because, you know, putting belts in the car is probably not that exciting to you guys, for you guys to watch, but that's part of what we're doing. Every single thing we get done, we're knocking it off the list, and the list is getting smaller. So it's a lot of work. I mean, we really did, you know, bought this thing as a bare roller, just a rolling chassis.
Yeah, we made a lot of changes to it as well. You know, we've done anything. We did a whole new entire steering setup, brake setup. Now we're changing the front end. You know, we're doing all that. So it's one of those things, like we've done a lot of work. So, but it all looks great.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I think
not cutting any corners.
No, the finished product's going to be badass, and hopefully, you know, it runs badass. And I know you guys are dying to see it. We appreciate all you guys watching, supporting, commenting, subscribing, buying merch. Hopefully, when this thing comes out, you know, it's like just as badass as you guys want it to be. You know.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we'll get to it. I just got the race tech in here. Fits great, looks great. Actually sent 2 race techs down with Junior for the Glizzard, so he's getting those stuck in there. They come with really nice mounting points on the seat, and if you have a car with a roll cage and you got, you know, X bracing, you got a double frame rail, it's really easier to mount them right off of the chassis like how we did, and we got our back brace on there as well. So everything in here looks really good. We got it all painted. Going to knock out the steering column and all that stuff today. It's obviously the next day. We were working late on some other stuff. You guys got to remember, we're doing this. We're doing the storm stuff. We're working on building a product line. We have a lot of irons in the fire, so sometimes we can get sidetracked. But overall, it's looking pretty good in here. We're going to get our MAC valves mounted and run our CO2 line, like Matt said, and then we'll start zip tying everything up. So get the screen back in there, get some things, you know, finalized. Really try to get the interior all done up. Get the drive shaft loop in there and the drive shaft containment loop, and get all that stuff in there. We're waiting on our drive shaft still. We're gonna have to yank the transmission out of it today here to put a spacer in there, so we'll do that, put the spacer in there, get the converter all buttoned up, so that's like all good to go, and then really get it so as far as drivetrain wise, once we get the drive shaft in, we can stick it in there and have that all taken care of. So that's what we got going on. Just a quick little Slick Rick update, and we'll keep rocking and rolling. Hopefully only a couple more days of working on this thing, and then we can get it to the dyno up at TCAM Performance, and then turn right around and take it to the track and start making some laps on it.